friends, welcome to our home for another video. In this video, we will be packing up our home. This is our first home and we are moving soon. So you're going to see a kind of a hodgepodge of packing videos. And throughout, I will give you some of my top packing / moving tips to help you if this is a season where you're also packing or moving, which I think a lot of people are in that situation or have been recently, but we are well into the future when I'm doing the voiceover, so I can kind of give you what I wrote these packing tips even before we moved and utilize them, and I'll let you know which ones really worked and worked well for me. So I'll go ahead and start with number 1. Start early. Start packing things you know you don't need. So a little bit about our situation. We put our house on the market, and as I was getting ready for listing photos and showings, I knew, of course, our house had to be presentable. And so in the process of doing that, I let that also be my packing process. So the things that I was taking down or cleaning up or whatnot, making the closets organized and blah, 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 those were also opportunities for me to pack. So I didn't have to do that down the road. If I was getting rid of it so that it wasn't visible to people doing showings, then it was being packed. So I started that early. And then as soon as we accepted an offer, we did a 45-day lease back. So like a free lease back. And the whole story would take way too long to try to explain all the ins and outs and how it all worked out. But that was the basis, the basic kind of situation we had going on. And so from day one, as soon as we accepted that offer and I knew I didn't have showings, you are looking at what my house looked like. And so this is what I wrote down. If you want to start early, which I suggest, however, I know that that's not possible or plausible for everybody or caters to their, personality. So this is a question you should ask yourself. You need to evaluate the importance between real estate in your home versus real estate in your mind. Will packing early bring peace of mind? For me, you see all those boxes along the wall. Some of those are filled and packed. Some of those are just empty boxes waiting to be packed. And I lived like that for almost 45 days. And to me, that the physical real estate was less important to me as the mental real estate. And I knew I wanted to have as much done, spread out over time, and so I wouldn't be overwhelmed at the end. I also wanted to pack the way I wanted to pack and not in a rush, and I'll get to that in another tip. But that was tip 1. So we're going to finish up. Well, I say finish up, but this was just one of those steps in that process. So let's continue on in this kitchen dining area, and then soon we'll move on to the outer shed. outside shed, and this is all of my husband's stuff, all the yard stuff, all his fishing stuff, some hunting stuff. And this place gives me anxiety. So when I'm filming this, we are still, I want to say 3 weeks-ish out from moving. And as you've seen in my other videos, I meticulously, and this is just my personality, I've called it my Monica type A personality. I had planned, 1 week out, I'm doing all the rugs. 2 weeks out, I'm cleaning the vehicles. 3 weeks out, I'm tackling the outdoor spaces. We have like a side storage that's connected to our house, and then this, and I knew that this was going to be such a major undertaking that I wanted it far away from any of the, impeding stress of moving. And so, really, you're not going to see this perfectly packed up because we're still going to need to use some of this. But my goal was to categorize, organize, pack what I could, and also declutter. So, in that vein, tip number 2, organize as you pack. I said it in my tip 1, I wanted to start early so that I could pack the way I wanted to pack. I wanted everything to be organized. Now, because that was my kind of mantra, that was my inspiration, my motivation in how I was packing, it's kind of irritated my husband because you'll see in the next few clips that I organize, like I'm packing up his office, and I start that day 1. Like I am packing up half of his books at the beginning of this process. Books I know he won't use. And then I don't touch his books for a while. And then once he doesn't need another section of books, they're being packed. But I am organizing everything before I pack them, like things go together. And I know that seems a little intense, and it is. But for me, I wanted to do my future self a favor. And when I moved into the house, I wanted to see a box, see what I had written on it, know that goes in the kitchen, and all the things that pertain to, let's say, utensils are in one box, or, I wanted all, man, I don't even know how to explain it, but I wanted to be able to know where I needed to look for something. I didn't want a bunch of boxes floating around. I wanted to do my future self that favor and be able to see a box and say that goes in the nursery, and it go in the nursery, and see a box and say everything in that box goes into the master bathroom. And I will absolutely say, on the flip side, it was seamless. I unpacked almost our entire house. I mean, every single box unpacked for sure within a week, but I want to say within 2 or 3 days. And that's taking my time, like not, I have a 2-year-old, so I can't just do it for hours at a time. But within 2 or 3 days, I had every single box, minus the books, which I'll get to, unpacked and in their proper place. And that was something important to me. And if that's important to you, organize as you pack.
You like to hang around different dudes.
Okay, I'm going to jump into tip number 3, which I think is probably a collection of tips. So I have quite a list, but some of them can be categorized together. But so let's go ahead and say overall, try to find free boxes. Every single box that you see me use, other than the box for books, because my husband was very specific that he wanted new, strong, small boxes for his books. I get it. Those are his like pride and joy. And also they're just heavy. They need to have like new sturdy boxes. But other than that, every other box that we used in packing, we either accumulated from orders like Amazon orders or we got them for free. My husband, a couple weeks before we decided to move, he helped somebody uh, unpack, not unpack, but move in. And so when they were done with all their boxes, we got all of them. And I'm telling you, I was like a crazy lady. I went to almost like a yard sale with a bunch of different people, set up a table, and I came late and I didn't really get to see a whole lot, but I saw a lady who had a bunch of empty boxes because she sold all her stuff, and I was like, "Hey, can I have those?" Um, and I boxes add up so much. You underestimate. I guarantee you underestimate how many boxes you need to pack up your house. And so if you go to Facebook Marketplace or if you know somebody who's moving, ask them to save you those boxes. We save so much money on boxes. And honestly, it was enough to pay for the new boxes for the books. But if we had to buy enough boxes for a whole house, I watched what's her name? And Alexandria? Anyway, I watched her video. She moved recently and she talked about how expensive it was to get boxes and packing materials. And whenever we got those free boxes, we also got free bubble wrap and free packing paper. And I had been accumulating that and we saved so much money. So please look on Facebook Marketplace and just don't think you have to go buy new boxes. You can find free boxes. And so in that same kind of token, use your drawers, use your trunks. I put light things, of course, in like my hope chest, in the drawers of our dresser. I put light things in there. I used our suitcases for our clothes. I've seen people who buy brand new boxes for their clothes. We don't have that many clothes, but I put all of our dresser clothes in our suitcases, and then I used trash bags to wrap around our hanging clothes and tied them off, and so they were good to go. I literally got them off the truck and put them on the closet rack. And so do that. Use your own towels, blankets, curtains to wrap furniture. I used our hand towels to wrap dishes. I used our curtains to, instead of like furniture blankets that you would buy from U-Haul or whatever packing company, I used our blankets and our curtains and sheets. I mentioned it before, I am cheap, but moving and packing gets expensive. So all of that together, tip number 3, try to use what you have and get anything you can for free and save yourself a lot of money in the long run.
devotion that brings me down. That without my love for the ocean, I will be no one. No You're holding my mind in a tight grip when I walk all over you, and your blood is in the water, and you go straight through my heart, through my heart. Without my love for the ocean, I would be long gone by now. I guess my love is for the ocean, not for you. No, not for you.
All right, so we are back in the house. This is my husband's office. He works from home, and he is also a student slash lifetime student slash always getting another degree. So you'll see in the next couple clips that he has a lot of books, and I've been trying at the time of like actually recording the video. I had been trying and trying to get him to declutter his books, and it was a fail. We took every single one of those books with us. Um, but he wants to be in higher education, or maybe a professor whenever he grows up. So the books make sense, but he loves books. He loves collecting books. So there's really no hope in dwindling that down. So, but also in his office is all of his hobby things. So um, he plays soccer, so he has his soccer stuff. He has his hunting stuff that can't go out in the shed, that has to be temperature regulated. He has just, you see, a closet full of stuff. I have, over time, like step by step, we organized that little like white drawer organizer. About a week ago, I sat down with him and we went through that. So we're just finishing up the little knickknacks in his closet, and then we will be moving on to, I think, finishing up his books. We do the rest of his books, and it is a massive amount of books. Um, but this is what I was talking about before, where I would do this in stages, and these are the only boxes that have yet to be um, put away in our new house, and that's because in the current room his office is in is not going to permanently be his office. We have an unfinished basement, which hopefully, I don't know, I really don't know projection, but within the year we're going to finish the basement and have an office down there, and we'll do like custom built-ins, hopefully. So we don't want to go through the hassle of buying bookshelves or even building bookshelves if this isn't their permanent home. So um, anyway, let me go ahead and get into the next tip. And the office is the perfect place, I think, to go into this. So declutter early and as you go, but also, and that So slash sell what you can and start posting early. Like post before you think you need to. Um, to sell, I mean, like on Facebook Marketplace or OfferUp or whatever, what have you. So I typically live in the habit of decluttering. So anytime I see an object, a piece of clothing, what have you, that I notice we don't use or we don't need, I will set it aside. I have a bin or a place where I will put those things. And next time I think about going to Goodwill or a donation center, I'll take them and I'll know that they're ready to go. And I have that. So I keep our house pretty organized. Again, that's just my personality type, so it's fairly easy for me. But when we began to move, I of course, at the beginning, wanted to make money where we could. So we had 5 bookshelves that spanned the entire wall where these books are. And I posted them on Facebook Marketplace, and it took, um, man, I want to say like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I thought we were going to have to move with them, which I really didn't want to do. And on the flip side, knew that we didn't have the room to do. And it took a very long time to get them sold. And the same with several other items. Anything I thought I could make a decent amount of money on that I didn't want to just donate, I posted, and several things took a long time. But because I started early and I posted them early, I wasn't rushed into just automatically donating them. I love donating. There's nothing against donating, but I also wanted to make as much return as I could. So there's my ticket to you. You'll end up just donating as much as you can. That's another one of the videos that I've watched recently. They just got so close to the end that they just had to donate things that could have really made, like, earned them back a lot of their money. So post your things early so that you can kind of make what goes back into moving expenses.
Bye bye, house. Bye bye, house. Bye bye. This is your first house. This was your first house. We brought you home to this house. You learned to walk right over here. Does it sound funny? You ready to go? All right. Bye bye. Thank you.